When you get to a spot where you want to add 2 stitches to your project, tilt the left needle a little bit to the front so that you can see the wrong side of the 4th stitch from the tip of the left needle. Look for a horizontal strand that sits right at the bottom of that stitch and insert the tip of the right needle under that strand from the bottom up, like this. Then place this strand onto the left needle so that the right needle is at the back of the left needle, like this. We're gonna knit this strand through the back loop, and we're gonna streamline this process, and instead of taking the right needle out of the strand, we're gonna wrap the needle with the yarn. If you hold the yarn in your right hand, you will do it like this. If you hold the yarn in your left hand, you will do it like this. So we wrap it for knitting, and we pull this wrap through the strand and slip the strand off the left needle. We've just added 1 stitch to the work, but that's not enough. We're here to add 2 stitches, right? So the next step we do, we keep the yarn at the back of the work and slip the stitch purlwise from the left needle to the right needle. Now it's time to add the 2nd stitch, and we're gonna make it from another lifted strand. To find that strand, look for the stitch below the stitch that we've just slipped. You can simply trace it, like this is the stitch that we slipped, and we go down and go into the next hole. This is the stitch below. We don't need the stitch itself, we need its left leg. See, the stitch has 2 legs, the right leg over here and the left leg over here. So we insert the tip of the left needle from left to right under that left leg, like this. Pull it a little bit to make the strand a bit bigger, and now we're gonna knit it through the front loop. So we insert the tip of the right needle into that strand from left to right, and because we are twisting this strand, and we're twisting it for the 2nd time because it is basically the same stitch that we already used to create the 1st stitch in this increase, it could be tight, but we don't need to insert the needle, the full needle, into the stitch. Just inserting a tip of the needle is enough. So keep it that way, insert the tip of the needle, and then wrap the needle with the yarn. If you hold the yarn in your right hand, you will do it like this. If you hold the yarn in your left hand, you will do it like this. Wrap the needle with the yarn and pull it through that lifted strand and let go of that strand. That's it. We've just added 2 stitches to the work, and now we continue to work on the project. Let's do it again. So we got to the spot where we want to add 2 stitches. We tilt the left needle to the front so that we could see this horizontal strand at the back of the 4th stitch from the tip of the left needle. We insert the right needle under that strand from the bottom up. Place that strand onto the left needle so that the right needle is at the back. Wrap the tip of the right needle with the yarn, no matter how you hold the yarn. Just wrap it as if you're gonna knit the stitch, because we are gonna knit it, through the back loop. And then we pull the wrap through and drop that stitch. So we've just knitted it through the back loop. Now we keep the yarn at the back, slip the stitch itself, and then we hunt for that left leg. So we look for the stitch below and go under the left leg of that stitch from left to right. And now we knit this left leg through the front loop as usual. Again, no matter whether you hold the yarn in your right hand or your left hand, it's simple knitting. And continue to work on your project. In the next row or round, we simply work these stitches in pattern. Because I'm working in stockinette stitch, I'm gonna purl these stitches. If you work in a different stitch pattern, then work those stitches in pattern. So here come the second set of increases. See these 3 stitches that result from the increase, and I simply purl them. And when you look at the right side of the work, so I'm gonna do it in a sec, you will see that first we added 2 stitches to the project in every place where we made this increase. So it's here and here. And you will also see that these increases are almost invisible. Just look at that. You can hardly tell where the stitches were increased. Look, the increases look flat, absolutely flat. There is no added bulk. No holes, even though I stretched the fabric, and no holes at all. No crooked stitches. That's the beauty of this increase, because it adds 2 stitches to the work without distorting the fabric too much. They look invisible even in the stockinette stitch that usually shows everything. But when we use these increases on a stitch pattern that is more textured, like seed stitch for example, you can hardly tell where the increases are. You see that the fabric is shaped, so there are 3 increases there. 1 is somewhere over here and 2 somewhere over there. But because we increased 2 stitches at the same time, they blend in seamlessly with the seed stitch that has a 2-stitch pattern repeat. So that's the beauty of these increases. They are hardly noticeable, even though we add 2 stitches, not even 1. We add 2 stitches to the work. And see, the wrong side also doesn't show much, so the increases are almost invisible. We can scatter them on the fabric, as I did over here in this swatch, to make the shaping less distinct, or we can stack them on top of each other, as I did in this swatch, to create a subtle line of increases. It is totally up to you. You can add these increases to any project because the process is the same for projects worked back and forth and the ones worked in the round. If you find this tutorial helpful, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to be notified every time I publish a new video. Happy knitting, my friend. I'll talk to you in the next tutorial.